Idlewild Tower, United Jet Mainliner 803, ready for takeoff, over.
We met on an airplane. I was a flight attendant, stewardess in those days, so there was an empty seat. So I sat down next to him. He looked like he was about 16, and I thought he was an Eagle Scout because he had wings. And it turned out he was an Air Force pilot stationed in Prestwick, Scotland. He was a pilot during the Korean War. He didn't have anything except my name. He wrote a letter 2 weeks after he got back to Scotland. He was called out on a mission. It was addressed to Joyce Anderson, United Airlines, New York City. And it got to me, and I responded, and the rest is history. He went back to UC Berkeley to finish in architecture, and that turned out to be landscape architecture. We moved to Tucson in 1975 because he had a job opportunity at the university.
He would come home every night after work, and this is a really unique quality and one that I didn't remember until my sisters brought up because I was so young. He would take 30 minutes and spend with each one of us individually, my two sisters and I, and just be very present and very curious and interested in how our day was. That was really, really special time that we had. He was a big fan of plants and everything botanical. He always claimed that even though he taught at University of Arizona for several decades, that he didn't know the plant materials in the desert. And yet we would walk around in our backyard or in the botanical garden or anywhere, and he would point out and say the botanical name of these plants. And we would look at him and say, I didn't think you knew very many of these plants.
He was diagnosed with prostate cancer. His prognosis was for 2 years. He lived for 7 years. He had a lot of radiation, some chemo, not a whole lot, but the radiation is what really killed him. At his celebration of life, a lot of his students showed up. We didn't even expect. They had heard about the event and they wanted to pay their respects.
The Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery at Marana was new, had only been open, I think, less than a year by the time we went to visit as a potential gravesite for my father. Very new, very clean, very well organized, beautiful grounds, kind of in the middle of nowhere. He grew up on farmland in Oklahoma, and there's a lot of farmland around there, so I kind of feel like he's back at home and near Pinal Air Park, and he can actually see the beautiful Catalina Mountains Push Ridge from the cemetery. So it was the right choice.
I really do feel so fortunate to have lived the life I have, and I value every day. When the end comes from me, I get to be buried right next to him. That's good too.